I start to read. This story is Loretta's story. So there's two friends. One started abusing drugs and went out into the street. The other got into the church and was giving life to God. And they were really good friends, and so they both changed. So I'm just reading a section, and I'm introducing in this section Loretta's grandmother. Okay? Loretta trudged down the uneven sidewalk like a trooper. She was laden with bags from Jewel's, Walgreens, McDonald's. She set them down just as she came to the front walk of the home where she had known as a child and stretched her back and shoulders. She looked up at the house and chuckled. It used to look so big and consuming when they left the projects and moved in, but now it looked more like a dollhouse, only run down and desolate. The olive green paint was buckling. It peeled off the wood like dead, burnt skin. The entire structure kind of leaned to the right. The wooden stairs that led to the front porch were democratic, each one doing its own thing, going its own way. No sense ringing the doorbell since it only worked when it wanted to. She longed to fix those things, wished she had the money and the time, because she knew her grandmother was not ever planning to move. Loretta resituated her bags and made her way to the door. Then she let herself in. Big Mama Sweet! Loretta hollered throughout the house like a merchant selling peanuts at a sports event. Quit being so loud, girl. You're gonna wake the dead. Big Mama Sweet was Loretta's maternal grandmother. Sweet raised Loretta when her own mother would not or could not, which was most of the time. Loretta would have just rather had called her mama, but Sweet wouldn't allow it. Give her that respect. After all, that's still your mama, she would say. Loretta couldn't imagine what life would have been like without Sweet. Abuse, constant hunger and lack, a series of foster homes, living in the street or worse. Sweet had been her lightning rod, her protector, her wise counsel, and her anvil. Every hit that life gave her pounded and pressed her against Sweet, hammered her into Sweet's likeness, shaped her into a woman of integrity and strength, just like Sweet. Now, in the twilight of her life, Loretta sensed that Big Mama Sweet was fading away. So she spent as much time with her grandmother as she could. Her desire was to make sure Sweet was comfortable. So Loretta gave her Saturdays. It was an all-day affair. That's when Ernestine, her home aid worker, took off, and Loretta came in to clean and cook and to make sure her grandmother felt loved. I brought you breakfast. Loretta laid a wrapped McDonald's sausage biscuit and hash browns before her. Girl, what is this? Play food. I don't know why you young people waste your money on all that foolishness. Big Mama, this here is a good sandwich. I got me one too. It's not play food, it's fast food. Fast food, huh? Why everything got to be so fast? Common sense ought to tell you, if they just making it while you driving through, something's wrong with it. Sweet looked toward the kitchen. Did you make groceries for me? Loretta nodded yes. Good. Then fix me some oatmeal. You know what I wish? I wish I could make those biscuits you used to make on Sunday. Man, big buttermilk biscuits, slab bacon, grits and eggs. Oh my Lord, and that sausage gravy. Now that was a breakfast. You can. No, Loretta said, I can't. What's stopping you? You better get these recipes while I'm here in my right mind. While blood is running warm in my body, I already asked the Lord to take me on. Hush talking like that. Well, there's a leak in this old building and my soul has got to move. Stop playing, Big Mama. Stop talking like that. You're gonna make me cry. Ain't no sense of crying. We was born to die. God promised 70. That's 70 if I'm not mistaken, and I'm way past that. Help me get to the kitchen. Loretta carefully pulled her to her feet. and then held out her hands so Sweet could grab them. Big Mama, guess who I saw Thursday? Guess who I ran into? Girl, I'm too old for guessing. Deep from the Greens. You know, back in the projects. Remember Deep? How can I forget him? 9 miles of bad news. They maneuvered through the old house. Loretta walked backwards, carefully, out of the bedroom, past the bathroom, through the living room, and into the kitchen. Sweet held on. She really didn't need Loretta for this excursion. She usually felt the wall for leverage until she made it to the living room, where the back of the couch would act as her banister. Then she would grab the dining chair, which performed as a makeshift cane, until she made it safely to her kitchen perch. Loretta had seen Sweet do it many times before and knew she wasn't actually needed, but guiding her made her feel vital. Look at you. You're gonna be here when I turn 70, Loretta said. Oh no, baby, the devil is a lie. I'm tired. I can't wait to see my Savior's face, and my mama, and well, I'm not sure where my daddy went, but so many have crossed over, family, friends. It gets a little lonesome down here. Oh, I'll miss you all right, but I'm tired, really. Loretta rambled through the bags and began calling out the contents for Sweet's approval. Sunny D, oatmeal, honey wheat bread, 2 peppermint patties, Miralax, prunes, and 4 bananas. Got it all. Big Mama nodded. Every Saturday, the same thing. How Loretta wished she could buy her provisions in quantities large enough to last longer than a week. But Sweet didn't like it like that. She didn't believe in storing up things. She said, God provides what we need when we need it, gives us our bread daily. Good girl, I'm gonna dance at your wedding. Yo, Big Mama thanks you so much. I know it's propane, but it's cash. That response always made Loretta shake her head and smile, most because she didn't know what it meant. Sweet had thousands of old Southern phrases she would quote and rhyme, but most just went over Loretta's head. I bought you a pork chop sandwich from that Red Hots on Cicero. You know the one you like, for lunch later. I didn't ask for no pork chop, did I? Well, set it down there. I'll look at it. No use looking at it. You know what they look like, Loretta said. Either you want it or you don't. Not necessary, Sweet said. All right, then, I'll just give it to Ernestine when she comes back. Oh, no, you won't either. Buy me something, then give it away. That sounds foolish. Loretta danced this waltz with Sweet every week. Everywhere she tried to indulge her or bring her a special treat, the same argument would arise, and it wouldn't end until later, way after Loretta left. Sweet would make a phone call full of gratitude and praise. Thank you for thinking of me. Thank you for caring. You the best granddaughter that ever lived. And afterwards, she never failed to say, it's poor pay, but it's cash. The kitchen was the same way Loretta remembered it growing up. The yellow curtains with little embroidered white daisies badly needed to be replaced. How she wanted to tear down the tattered pictures of landscape and wildlife from old Moody Bible Institute calendars that adorned the wall. A large pair of brown praying hands hung right next to the cuckoo clocks, which still ran on electricity. It chimed every hour on the hour. Stains from cooking mishaps decorated the ceiling, and the stainless steel percolator that kept Mama Sweet going all those years sat proudly on the first eye of the stove, still ready and waiting to perform its duty. All had served its time and purpose and should have all been updated and exchanged years ago. But Loretta was a little reluctant to supplant any of it, hesitant to change things, hesitant to change Sweet's comfort zone. Big Mama, move in with me. I got plenty of room. That way we can be together, spend more time. No, ma'am, not in this life. You're a young woman. Young women need their space. When I leave here, Gatlin's going to be doing the moving. My policy is fixed and my plot is paid for. All you have to supply is the sad singing and the flower bringing. Sweet chuckle. Loretta got to work, clearing a few dishes and putting a pot of coffee before making the oatmeal. Don't forget to add some vanilla extract to my oatmeal. Now, where did you see that deep fella? He was at work, my job, walking around in the waiting room. We hugged and hugged, didn't think I was ever going to see him again. Oh, but he was a sight for sore eyes. Sweet hummed a little tune all while Loretta chattered on. She seemed uninterested. We're going for dinner tonight to catch up on old times. You know, it's been almost 18 years since I've seen him last. What's he doing down at the welfare? He jobless? I'm not sure. Helping out a friend or something. Ain't he the one killed that man in Milwaukee? That boy's been trouble since he was little. Bad upbringing. Anytime your mama go to prison, that's bad enough. Then she left them kids with that whorish, no good for nothing man. He couldn't even raise his head off a prostitute's pillow. How he gonna raise his kids? How many of them was it? He had 11 brothers and sisters, Loretta said. Wait till I tell you how he got released from prison. Sweet waved Loretta's words away. Not necessary. 12 youngins. They pretty much had to raise themselves. I remember that boy running around them projects terrorizing everybody. That's what he was, a terrorist. Always frowning. Had stormy weather written all over his face. Even way back then. D is what they called him, ain't it? Yes. Loretta, less talkative now, scooped the oatmeal into a bowl. Grew up in that Blackstone gang, slinging drugs, doing drive-bys. I remember all that. I can't remember where I put my blood pressure pills yesterday, but I remember that. You never did have any sense when it came to picking your friends. Why in the world would they let him out? Sweet began coughing harshly. Loretta set the oatmeal down in front of her and turned to the fridge to retrieve the milk. As she poured, she rubbed Big Mama Sweet back. Now there, it's not that serious, Big Mama. He wasn't that bad. Dick was my friend. I can no longer turn my back on a friend that I would turn against you. Big Mama Sweet took a deep breath and blew it out. Baby, my mama always told me, birds of a feather flock together. That's not you no more. Don't go backwards. I've changed, Big Mama. You know that for yourself. That you have, with the help and the grace of God. So if I can change, why not thee? God is the God of the second chance, right? There's nothing impossible for him. That's what your favorite saying is. If he can do anything, then he can do everything. That's right. But you need to use your head for more than a hat rack. Some people carry gadgets up their sleeves. They look innocent enough, talk like they the cream of the earth. Oh, you want some in your coffee? Cream. But when the opportunity is right, they pull them gadgets out to trap you. Sweet picked up her coffee cup and held it in the air. Just a little bit, baby. Loretta poured into the cup. Everybody that smiles in your face does not have your best interest at heart. Stop being so gullible. Hopeful, Big Mama. You know, it's pretty near impossible for a leopard to change his spots. Sweet placed her elbow on the table, dipped her spoon into the bowl, and stirred slightly before bringing it to her lips. She blew at the spoon full of oatmeal and then sipped a little. Good, real good for a young woman. Somebody done taught you how to cook. Anybody can make oatmeal. It's those biscuits I want to master, Loretta said. One of these Saturday afternoons, bring you some flour, some lard, some patience, and I'll tell you all the secrets a woman needs in the kitchen to hook a good man. But you better make it soon. Big Mama, I wish you knew the deep I knew. He's good in his soul. He's not what people think. I know this like I know the sun will rise every morning, whether storm clouds covering or not. He wouldn't do anything to hurt me. I ain't got but one thing to say about that. My grandma, my dear, told me, some folks say a donkey won't steal, but I caught two in my cornfield. One had a bushel and one had a hoe. Now, whether they were stealing something, I don't know. Now you chew on that.